All right, we are live after a few technical difficulties. You are joining us for the Christian Anime Podcast. Today, we are talking about the gender war. Welcome, chat. Welcome, chat. Let's see. People are saying no, it's not real. Yeah, that's the topic for today. Is the gender war real? We'll be reacting to this video about the Gen Z gender war. I believe it's real. I believe the gender war is definitely real, and it is the fault of. It's not the fault of women. It is the fault of feminism, in particular. That is the real problem, because before feminism, it wouldn't it wasn't a problem. Well, I still think there's it's one of those things, right? Which is I think in Genesis I will let's see um let's get Bible Hub up. I'm pretty sure it's in Genesis 1. um Genesis 2, at the temptation. Give me a second. Genesis 3 then, during the deception. So this is why the gender war exists. It's mainly because of this. So this is in Genesis chapter 3. So God created the world in 1 and 2, and then at the start of chapter 3 we see here the Satan deceives Adam and Eve, and then God punishes Adam and Eve for eating from the tree of the tree of the fruit of good and evil. um and then here's the punishment. He says here, to the woman he said, I will sharply increase your pain in childbirth. As pain you will bring forth children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. And to Adam he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife and have eaten from the tree of which I commanded you not to eat, cursed is the ground because of you. Through toil you will eat of it all the days of your life, but both thorns and thistles it will yield for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow you will eat your bread until you return to the ground, because out of it you are taken. From dust, for dust you are, and to dust you will return. Okay, cool. So this is why the gender war exists, right? It's because there's this tension here, like, over that your desire will be for your husband and he will rule over you, right? And it's like the biological urges for a woman and man to be together, and then there's pain in in it. I swear there's another verse through here. um but yeah, that's ultimately it, right? Which is, like, that's why there's disagreement. It's because women and men and both men and women aren't, like, adhering to their biological design. So there you go. um Yeah, Spy Family is good. I like Spy Family because it's like it's pro-natalist propaganda. It's so good. It's so good. Kind of a coincidence that Celestium and Podcast on our stream. Oh, Celestium's streaming right now. Oh, I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize. So yeah, okay. So I was in, because I'm at university right now, and I was in a class where we were talking about, like, culture war, and the way that culture wars are, like, phrased, like the culture war rather than cultural debates. Um, and I like the phrase gender war as well rather than gender debates, because I think that's that is the most accurate way to frame it. there's there's no it's like the way that people um are really pitted against each other, and it's mainly, as I said, it's mainly because of feminism. It's also because of cultural Marxism, right? It's because when you say to someone, like women, like when you say to women, that you are victims, and you are victims of patriarchy, and patriarchy bad, and you are it's kind of over for you guys, right? And you need to rebel. You need to rebel against the system because men are to blame about everything. Um, of course, of course, it's gonna lead to conflict. Of course, it's going to lead to people being like, um, of course, it's gonna lead to a gender war. That's all it is. Because it's if you're not if you're not really so men expect something of women, and now women expect something of men, but it's completely different, and there's like a disconnect between the two. That's the causes of the gender war. That's all it is. Kind of funny you bring this up as I finish Spy Family, because the anime explores about how both genders have to work together for real, through the family, right? And that's the solution at the end of the day, which is for the gender wars. And for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm just I want to say I'm a bystander in the gender war because I've pulled out, right? I'm like, no, this ain't for me. I don't want to talk to women anymore. And that's the that's how I respond to the gender war. Um, but I think I don't know, man. Is marriage the way to fix the gender war? Like I hear stories from South Korea, for example, about how like there's like this extremist feminism, and then there's like this extremist incelism um in South Korea. Is marriage the way to do it? No, because there's so big of a divide, that even your biological urge to want to have a family and want to have children isn't going to solve that. So is marriage the way forward, to work together to save the world? I don't think that's gonna happen. It's because like we see it in like in most of the so we see it in China, South Korea, Japan. No, it's not. There are other reasons for there are other reasons for the fertility crises in those countries. Um, but that's ultimately that's really it. Um, the way forward is trying to find ways to see how men and women are common, what men and women have in common with each other again, and that's always it. I mean, Jesus is the answer, right? And then if we have commonality in Jesus, then we're able to move forward with that. So I agree with that. So yeah. How do you respond to someone who can't tell the difference between fantasy and occultism, and say Christians can't watch stuff with magic in it? I would respond to that with saying, huh. So occultism. So for example, right, when if I see a bunch of kids, let's relate this question to like the question of masculinity and femininity, right? So if I see some kids like play fighting in um play fighting like with swords, right? And they're play fighting in on the front lawn. I'm not gonna be like, no, stop. That's you're going too quick. No, because it's like there's an understanding with like with you play fighting, that everyone has agreed upon that this isn't real. But I'm going to suspend my disbelief and say, okay, I understand that this isn't real, this is fake, but we're gonna go into the realm of fiction now in order to tell a story or to do a thing right. And that's the thing that it's actually a really good thing that boys do, right? Which is to play fight. And there's a reason why girls usually don't tend to play fight, right? It's because there are differences between men and women. So yeah, we've become so used to victimizing ourselves and demonizing others, like it's yeah. So saying the solution is marriage is dumb, because the whole point about the gender war is that men aren't able to have a proper marriage, and that's it, right? Like if the solution really is marriage, no, it's not. Right? It's like, because let's say you have a very committed feminist, like a committed atheist feminist who wants to bring down the patriarchy, right? And there's a very committed Christian or a very committed trad person. Let's just take religion out of the equation, right? A very committed trad person who has expectations um, of their woman, right? And they want to be the breadwinner, etc., etc. Um, that's it, right? That's it. Like there's is that marriage going to be a happy marriage? I don't think so, right? And it's this yeah. So ultimately, like Christianity is the solution, because if there is a commonality in values, that you're more likely to be able to actually move forward. So I think that's it. Um, in Japan, the reason is work culture. Yeah, that's true as well. Um, which is, yeah, unfortunate. So kind of is what it is. What is this crown icon #1 thing? I've never seen it before. Oh, so basically there's a leaderboard in terms of whoever chats the most. If you chat more, you get more XP. So that's it. The solution is to become de-radicalized. Goodness gracious me. Give me a second, guys. I'm about to. Oh my. I am die forever. No, I'm back. I'm back. The difference in worldviews is a part of the reason why I believe that Christians should not marry non-Christians as well. Yeah, I agree. It's really unwise to do so, because like this has always been my thing about marriage, which is if you are wanting to, sorry, it's not always been my thing now, but like I've kind of realized it now, which is like what as I'm trying to um look for other people and see who would be like a suitable marriage partner or marriage candidate to open to open applications to, right? Which is like, if I like, I'm a guy, I'm the guy in the relationship, I'm the man, and I want to invite a woman into the thing that I am doing, right? So um me as the guy, I need to be offering, like, this is the project, right? This is going to be the whole point of our marriage. I think for most people, like, the whole point of their marriage is like, I want to have kids, right? I want to have kids and start a family, and that's the project that I am inviting you into. Um, for other people, it might be, hey, I want to I want to be absolutely amazing at this career. I want you to be joining me in this particular career, um, and I want to work on this together, as a family or as a couple, right? And that's it, right? That's kind of how I've updated my view on marriage, which is, it's not just about values, but if you don't have an aligned goal or an aligned purpose with your spouse, then it's not going to be a really good marriage. So, and if you're gonna marry a feminist who's like, oh, I want to go to work and um, I want to be a liberated, like, I want to be a liberated woman who's out there doing amazing at her career, and I don't want to be at home. Where does that leave you? Like, do you also want to work, or are you then the person who is running the family? That's it. So yeah, I sound a little different today because I just woke up and I am a little sick. So there you go. Welcome, Spicy Rice. It is off topic, but and thank you for your thanks. That's an amazing stuff. That's amazing stuff. Just a reminder as well, if you haven't yet watched the video on the Good Samaritan that I just released, please do so. Leaving the Bible aside, if you are not in sync with your partner, it will always end up not always it will not end up well. Yes, it will always not end up well, for real, for real. And that's like, so, and that's a biblical principle, right? To be equally yoked, you need to be equally yoked with someone, in terms of values, in terms of just generally, moving forward in terms of a marriage. And that's why that's also why I've, as I said, right, I am now an observer in the gender war, because I am someone who has values which are very, very different. Like, I have goals which are not typical. And I wouldn't really want to invite a woman into that, right? It's always the long-term dream for the Christian Anime Podcast, right, is that I am able to go around to different countries and be able to live like a nomadic lifestyle where I don't really have a home, right? That's the ideal goal for me, right? Which is I'm able to travel around all over the place, or live in countries which are way cheaper to live in, so that I can actually so that my YouTube income is like good enough to keep me, right? That's kind of the ideal, right? As a single guy spending time with fellow church leaders who are married, I learned that it's not always about love, but it's about the commitment. Yeah, that's true. She's not a radicalized liberal. Oh, that's good. Very good if you have a girl like that. Love isn't just a feeling, and it's a choice. And yeah, like that's the thing as well. Like, because most people have this idea that romance and love is all about, like, I need to be able to be feeling it, right? And that's the disconnect. I think that's incredible disconnect between like the Christian idea of love, which is like, it's this action that I am continuously doing, that I am going to choose to love you rather than, even though I don't feel it. That's something that someone who is who is in the world might not ever comprehend, right? So yeah, the Christian Nomad Podcast. Yeah, for real, for real. For real, for real. All right. So, as I said, we'd be reacting to this video here, the Gen Z gender war. I like this guy. Like, I really like this channel because he like includes anime. So that's ultimately it. Like, he it's not an anime channel. It's using the anime aesthetic to to prove a point. So I really, really like this channel for that. I'm not subscribed, but every now and again I see his videos and I'm like, that's pretty cool. So let's take a gander.
Gen Z is currently at war, but not the kind of war being fought with weapons or bombs, but something far more dangerous: feelings. We're in the middle.
For real. And this is it, right? Because Gen Z, I think Redeem Zoomer says it best, right? Which is, Gen Z is the first generation to live under secularism. It's like Gen Z is the first generation to really see, really be not only in, I don't want to say indoctrinated, but that's probably the perfect word, right? To maybe some Gen Z will be like fully indoctrinated in secularism. Some Gen Z will like look at secularism, see its fruits, and say, no, I definitely don't like secularism, right? And this is one of the effects of it, right? Which is feelings. Feelings become king rather than anything a bit more concrete. So yeah. Please change the Discord server icon. It's very based though. Like, I love the Discord server icon. There's a growing population who have never even heard about Jesus before. For real, for real. And that's like, at the very least, like, I think in Christian societies where it's like, where being culturally Christian is a thing, I think there is something to be said. At least, like, if you are going to church every day, you are at least hearing the gospel every day, right? Sorry, not every day, every Sunday. If you are surrounded by Christianity, you are at least like, you may at least be reading the Bible, even if it's in like a culturally Christian context. And it's under the cultural Christian context that you're like, you're able to have these common values at the very least. So I think it's stupid to break up over or divorce over political values. Yeah. That's true. Monsieur Z made a good short about if you're dating someone more left-leaning than you. Oh, I see, I see. I still find it crazy that there are people in the Deep South who know about gospel music, but not about the gospel. That's insane. So, I mean, yeah, that is those are one of the problems with like cultural Christianity, which is it's harder to discern if someone is actually saved or is saved or not. But at the same time, like this is like one of the benefits of cultural Christianity, which is it actually produces a society which is better ultimately. So yeah.
Little of an ongoing divide between men and women that's only getting worse. Women say it's men's fault the world is the way it is today, and men are saying the same thing right back. And the biggest battlefield this war
and I'm saying it's just feminism, right? Feminism it's not women. It's feminism which is the problem. That's what I'm saying.
Being waged on is social media. We're in the trenches of the TikTok algorithm, and the fighting continues on the Twitter timeline. And this has been happening for a while now, but sadly, none of the commentary around it has been productive. No.
Do we really have to fight so much? I think, as I said, it's feminism. Feminism is ultimately the problem. It's not a matter of like, it's because it's a matter of like people have two different worldviews, right? Men are more likely to be conservative, women are more likely to be progressive, right? And it comes down to that, which is there is a difference of values. Of course, there has to be discussions, and there is going to be debate and divide over it, right? It's an inevitability that happens because of such things. Just look at all the trad girls. Yeah, trad e-girls as well, like embrace. Like, there's a subconscious feminism, I would say. So yeah. Part of the issue is both sides need to reflect, and that Gen Z is on shorts and TikTok too much. For real. Men like Tate became false prophets for young men who feel angry. Yeah, it is. And it's just this is why I also absolutely despise the red pill stuff, which is like it's whenever you hear like a red pill person talking about like what is the ultimate goal or what is the ultimate ideal for men to do, you hear them about saying how all that matters in life is getting as many girls as you want, and that's kind of the thing for the red pill stuff is also really bad. So yeah, and this is it, right? Which is like in light of secularism, removing the main meta narrative of Christianity, right? It's offered emerging like what we call emerging discourses or micro narratives to come up and kind of occupy the space that the meta narrative used to occupy, and that's why you have like these vastly different views about the world and vastly different values concerning the world once you remove Christianity from the picture. So yeah.
No one is actually trying to understand the issue. It's just one side trying to tell the other that they're wrong. People are constantly doubling down and turning every interaction between men and women into a pointless power struggle. Drama is heating up on Love Peninsula.
And this is this guy is I really like looking at like the normie perspective, because because in academic circles it's really cringe the way that people use the vocabulary which is used to describe certain actions. But this is like, I want to provide this perspective as well, right? Which is like, this is ultimately the fruits of what Marxism is. Like Marxism originally was this power struggle between the classes. It's this class struggle between the bourgeoisie and the proletariat is the victim. The bourgeoisie is the oppressor, and the victim needs to fight back against the oppressor, right? And this idea, starting from Marxism, has been expanded to literally everything. Like what we vaguely call cultural Marxism has been expanded to things like colonization, right? Race, and ultimately gender as well, right? So disability, that's also been expanded to that. So the way he's describing it, right? He's describing it as, yeah, it's kind of like a pointless power struggle. Well, well, it's pointless to us, right? To the normie view, it is kind of pointless. But to the Marxists, this is like, no, it is a good thing that there's power struggle, because the victim needs to win against the oppressor. That is the whole point of Marxism. That is why it is successful. It's successful at destroying society, is what it is. So, yeah. Love Peninsula is probably a parody of Love Island, for real.
All right, I'm gonna just holler at your sister then. Oh, really? Hi, sister. I mean, yeah, she looked better. Oh my God, you were so... I can't stand him. He's so toxic. I mean, honestly, I kind of agree with him. She really did him dirty. Are you serious? He literally manipulated her. Okay, but she was flirting with that other guy in the hot tub. That was before they were a couple. This is the problem with men. You guys never understand women. Well, women are always the ones making it complicated. Oh, so it's about women now? Well, you made it about men. You know what?
For real. I'm siding with Stark this time. Fern's in the wrong here. This is feminist Fern, and I'm rebuking feminist Fern. And I'm casting out that demon of feminism right out from her. That's insane.
You should sleep on the couch tonight. I'm not sleeping on the couch. This is my house.
Oh, whoops. We have, it's an ad break. It's ad break time. You know, this is why I should have an ad blocker. Whoops. There you go.
Gen Z is a generation that is constantly battling loneliness, mental health struggles, and a general lack of community. And constantly fighting each other isn't making it any better. We're in this weird spot where we have a bunch of men who hate women, but also want to date women, and a bunch of women who hate men, but also want to date men. So everything is just...
I do not believe that for a second, that it's because... I think there are women who want to, they want to date men. They want to date like a very idealized version of a man. And that's it, right? It's not that they don't want to date men, right? They want to date their picture of what a man is. And most men are like, they're happy to settle because it's like it's okay, right? They don't have to they don't have to date like an absolutely amazing person, right? So there it is. Yeah, for real, women never date down, men always do. So yeah. What is, I was gonna say something else as well, and I think no, that's it. I'll leave it there, but that's. This is also another situation where like Christianity was very useful in the past, right? It's because like if you all have a common community of church, right, that's where you're able to like meet people, and this, you kind of see this as well with how society has become has just continued to accelerate, right? I think cities are also not very useful places for to build community, because right, you're caught up in the busyness of careers, of work, of just going. You're just moving. You're just going. So yeah, honestly, when people try to be balanced in both sides, it's an equivalent thing. Well, yeah, it's not. When they're saying. This is where I disagree with this guy, where he's like, yeah, I think both sides are actually wrong. No, there is one. It's not, and I want to really preface this by saying it's not women's fault. It's the fault of feminism. Like, it's feminism and Marxism which is at fault, rather than that. So yeah.
Extremely hostile all the time. The weird part, though, is that each side swears that they have it worse than the other, when in reality, we're facing a lot of the same problems. A lot of men talk
No, women do have it easier. I'm gonna die on this hill.
About a male loneliness epidemic and say that it's difficult for them to approach women. But many women are also dealing with loneliness and feel uncomfortable and awkward when they interact with men. But instead of coming together, everyone just blames each other.
Why do you think women feel uncomfortable around men? It's because of feminism, right? Because feminism has taught them this caricature of masculinity, which is like every man is out to get you, and every man is like out to try and murder you, and like all of these sorts of things, right? So yeah, No, I'm behind the male loneliness epidemic, right? There's apparently like, while women are absolutely excelling in the career path, um, like men are giving up. They are staying behind. They are being neats. That's ultimately it. Men set up the systems that made them lonely in the first place. No, 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 no. That's not where it comes from. That's not it. That's definitely not it. The sexual revolution and its consequences. That's it, right? It's not, and that's it. Let's be honest, some men find it difficult to find the women they like. It is difficult. And it kind of is what it is. And that's why I'm like, this is why, like, this is what I'm saying, guys, which is, it's just, you don't have to participate in the gender war. You can just give up. That's it. And if you're okay, if you truly believe that there is like a, if you truly believe that it is worth it, it's worth fighting the gender war to get married. And if you do work hard enough and you're able to actually find someone, like you're just searching left, right, and center, and you're trying to find someone, I'm sure God will bless you with someone who does share your values, right? But I'm just saying, for me, like, I'm like, it's time to give up. That's all it is. It's time to give up. That's it's you don't gotta participate in it. So yeah.
Loneliness is being branded as a male loser epidemic, and people are trying to make their exceptions to who deserves to feel lonely. I know it's easy to pretend that loneliness only happens to people we don't like, but a lot of people are out there struggling. Drawing lines where they don't belong only takes our focus away from the real issue. Gen Z as a whole are struggling. That's what this entire thing is about. Women have the idea that all men want to do them harm, and men have the idea that women are evil demons who want to traumatize them. And to be honest,
I mean, is that really not true? I'm just saying. How many people's experience, like, I want to see in chat. I know, Starship, you've got like a very different experience to this, but I'm just saying, is this really so different to anyone else? I, as a guy, am inconsiderate of emotion sometimes, and sometimes I fight with others that are female because I talk pure logic. That's true. That's true. You don't have to participate, and we also don't have to be a simp. For real, right? Don't be a simp. Don't be a simp. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing to happen.
there's a lot of credit to those feelings. Young people especially are very vulnerable to violence and harm in their relationships. There are dangerous people out there, and it's important that we're cautious about who we trust to be in our lives. But I don't think it's healthy for us to constantly live in fear of each other either. But because men and women don't talk, we automatically assume the worst about each other. However, despite this, Gen Z is still longing for connection. Both men and women are still seeking companionship with one another, but nobody knows how to do it anymore. There's a lot of politics involved in dating now, and a lot of it is the result of negative experiences on both ends.
For real. What? Enough about women's rights. What about women's wrongs? That's so true.
Women have had a lot of negative experiences with men on an individual level, which causes them to be more wary of men in general. They recognize potentially problematic behaviors in guys, and as a way to protect themselves, distance themselves from men. And many men have also dealt with women who have genuinely tried to do harm to their lives, reputations, and mental health as well, which causes a lot of men to be discouraged from approaching women entirely. And before I continue, speaking as a man who has a primarily male audience, we have to recognize that when it comes to these dangers, women are just a bit more vulnerable than we are. Men can be victims of a lot of the same things that women.
Now, I will say, okay, let's play devil's advocate for here. No, I won't phrase it that way. I will say, right, like, there is a genuine thing in regards to like women's fears about men that I want to recognize, which really sucks, right? I think because I've hung out around people who really don't they don't have a high view or a high respect for women. And I don't say that as like, oh, I'm a simp, then you need to respect women. No, like they genuinely, it's kind of this culture of trying to, like I've been around people who are like, like, and I've heard stories of like people who really don't have that, they would see, they don't see them as people, but they see them as like actual objects that they are able to use in order to advance their own pleasure, right? That's kind of it, right? Which is like, it's so I do want to acknowledge that as well, that we also those are some of the problems amongst our male compatriots, which is that there are those bad actors, which kind of cause trauma and violence and those sorts of things. So it kind of sucks, but it's kind of, it is what it is, right? So yeah. I mean, if you do have those people around you in your life, I think that it's helpful to call that out, because the more that we stop men from being violent, I want to say that, like, because that's actually that is the actual toxic masculinity. It's not like the trad the trad men or the trad caths wanting to gain a traditional or wanting to go back to traditional values, right? It's like this toxic masculinity which really sees women as objects, and will only seek to exploit them for men's own pleasure. So yeah, I think that's it. That's it, unfortunately.
Face. I unfortunately have experienced it myself, but we live in a world where women are the ones put in danger more often. It's something to keep in mind because I remember having a conversation with a female friend once that put things into perspective for me. It's so hot this summer. I've barely been able to go outside and take a walk. Yeah, the weather's crazy. That's why I go on walks at night. You go on walks at night? Yeah, it's so much better. It's not as hot and it's nice and quiet. You should really give it a try. So you think I should?
I mean, that's it, right? Which is like, I think that's actually a fair thing to say. Like, I think women, it's an unfortunate thing. We live in a society where it's like women feel unsafe to go out at night, right? So yeah, but it's just a thing. It's just a thing that unfortunately it is what it is, right?
To go outside and walk around at night. Yeah, what's the problem? Yeah, a 21-year-old woman outside alone at night. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, yep, you get it now? You're scared of the dark. No, even outside of relationships, it seems like men and women can't even be friends anymore. So instead of talking to each other, we turn to social media to tell us about each other instead. And sadly, this only makes it worse. The problem is that social media exaggerates minor issues and makes them seem bigger than what they are. So we're constantly living under the pressure of unrealistic expectations and made up scenarios that have a lot of young adults walking around with a lot of personal insecurity. And those insecurities make us hypersensitive to any interaction with the opposite sex. Sometimes I'm on my phone and the way some people respond to things.
That's so funny though. That's so funny. You're short. No, you're short $1. That's too good. That's like so unfortunately, as a very short Asian man, I am it's kind of Jover for me. let's just say that as well.
Things on social media, you'd think they killed someone. Just for me to go through the thread and see the most harmless post ever. Even the most simple disagreements end up becoming commentary on both men and women at large. We're throwing everyone in the boxes they don't fit in. And now the things that make us unique are instead used to criticize and classify us. From our dating preferences, sexuality, career choices, and even our hobbies and interests. There's no room for individuality anymore. It feels like everything you say and do is judged against every other person.
I will say that I know we're only like 5 minutes into like a 22-minute video, but we'll wrap it up like at some point. I don't know if it feels like he's saying the same thing over and over again, and I don't really want to. I want to see what you guys think and have a discussion with you guys rather than use the video for it. But I think that's also another thing as well, which is I think Gen Z, because of the, I don't know what it is in specifically about Gen Z, that makes it really difficult for people to have debates or like difficult conversations, and still learn to disagree, right? I think we live in a world, like, especially on the internet, where it's like we live in a world where it's just you need to agree with me or you're not on my side, and I'm going to now here it's I'm not going to talk to you anymore, like things like that, right? Like I think I look at with amongst my own friends, right? And I'm quite blessed to be in a friend group where we can have disagreements. We have things that we disagree upon, but we're still able to be like, hey, like I can still talk to you, I can still go to church with you, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing to be able to do that amongst Gen Z, I think. Um, we grew up with technology that allows any bad actor to skew things. As someone in Gen Z, that is a large factor as well. And that's another thing, right? Which is like on the internet, like this is why I don't have like conversations on. I try not to have debates or conversations on Twitter. I only like I try to just do like one point, and then once I do one point, I leave the convo just to offer a different perspective, right? Because on Twitter, like I think it's a 250 character word limit. Is that really a good way to have a discussion? No, not really. So that's it's not ideal. Welcome, Valorian. Ever heard of knowing when to give up? This is one of them. Yeah, I'm just saying, just give up. It's time to give up. And that's it as well. There's an element of hyper individualism which is at play. If we're if this is one of the fruits of secularism, right? Which is secularism says you can be whatever you want to be. You are important. You are the most important thing in the universe. The world literally revolves around you, and if the world is not addressing your needs, you need to say to the world that that the world is wrong. And again, ideas of like the specter of cultural Marxism, which is like influencing people to think in ways which are more selfish, right? Which is like the world needs to meet my needs because the world is actively oppressing me. So that's we need to be working more in ways in which the world needs to stop like actively oppressing me, right? Those so yeah, it's no surprise then this hyper individualism, which is like which is going out to other people. It's like it's really not helpful. So yeah, this is why I don't follow the standards of the world. Yeah, it's true to an extent. There are lots of tall girls who like shorter guys. I don't believe that. That's not real. That's not real Starship. That's straight out of a romance manga called The Dangers of My Heart. So that isn't real. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Well, I'm happy we've had this dialogue. Thank you very much for joining me on today's stream in regards to the gender war. As I said, like I don't actually know what this guy's solution is. I hope he does try to provide a solution, but of course we know our solution is that our solution is ultimately I think it comes back to Jesus, and I'm at the point which is like, you know what, maybe it won't be a reality for me, but maybe a reality for the next generation, if we're like continuing to spread the gospel. If people are coming back to church, then while it might not be realized for me, at least it'll be realized for the next generation. And I think that's kind of the it's a good space to be in for that. So anyway, all right, with that, thank you very much everyone for joining us with another edition, the gender war edition of the Christian Anime Podcast. I might make a video on this. I'm still not sure, but other than that, I hope you all have a good rest of your morning for those of you on this side of the Pacific, and for our American friends, I hope you have a good rest of your evening, and I will see you again later. Goodbye.